Bickley and Marotta Mornings. Arizona Sports. The local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
There is a video of Kenny Dillingham from halftime of the Territorial Cup, glorious in its profanity, where Kenny Dillingham commands his team to have no pity on the bleeping kitty.
No pity for the mother kitty.
Now, some were shocked by the language, but not if you're an ASU fan, where your head coach has never felt more perfect, where your head coach has captured exactly what it means and sounds like to be a Sun Devil. There is a sublime euphoria in Tempe these days. You can feel it. They are not preparing to play Oregon or USC. They are favored to beat a comparable team in their own weight class, and if they do, they are among the first college football expanded playoff. Nobody is fretting over a first-round bye versus a potential road game at, say, Ohio State, because the future seems so bright and so sustainable, because so much magical stuff has happened already that it would be grotesque to ask for anything more, and because all that matters is winning one more football game, which would pronounce to the world that the sleeping giant was not only awakened, but it was real after all. And now, your new favorite head coach can go where very few have gone before, meeting and winning a big moment, a team that does more than battle, a team that wins the battle, the kind of moment that has consistently eluded Valley sports fans in the past. All right, today's Bickley Blast brought to you by my great friends at Chapman BMW. Make luxury attainable. Find them online at chapmanbmw.com. Go
I think
Devils!
It's a reward for success, for finding ways to win, right? Finding ways. Best teams don't always win. The most talented teams don't always win, right? But the way we define sport is through winning. And if you can find ways to win, that's the reward, is winning. Finding different ways to win. And I think that's the fun part, is we've gotten here. We're in a position to compete and win a championship. Not many people can say that at this time of year. Only two teams in our league can say that they've put themselves in position to win a championship, and that's the significance, is it's about all the challenges to get to this point, that you're one game away from accomplishing something that people said couldn't be done. That's significant. And I think that's the significance, is finding ways to win. I've never looked at it like, oh, you're the best team, you're the worst team. Nobody really cares. Who's the team that won? And repeat. Find ways, different ways to continue to win.
And that is certainly something that ASU's done this year, is find ways to win. And going back to the profane halftime speech that is circulated, it's
fantastic.
It was titillating in a lot of ways, because it was a real raw inside look.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to play the audio of that, but there's just no way. It would just be like 30 seconds.
There was a lot of...
There was. The message was, we haven't completed a bleeping game all year.
Yeah.
Twist the knife. We're going to do it. Twist the knife was the message. And ironically, ASU came out and gave up a touchdown. The one scoring drive Arizona had, and it looked like, are they going to struggle to close it out? They regrouped, and I honestly don't think Arizona was capable of doing more than what they did on that drive on that particular day.
Mm-hmm.
But it's refreshing to hear. And
oh, yeah.
I agree with Matt Berry so much that if you're an ASU fan and you're complaining about seeding, if ASU wins and they don't jump Boise State in the rankings and earn one of those seeds, I mean, right now I can say, who cares? This is such an unexpected delight.
It's so beautiful, and it's so pure, and it's so excellent that I'm right there with you. And I was listening to Barnesy, and he said the same thing. He's like, send us to Ohio State. I do not care. It does not matter at this point. And that's a really good place to be in. It really is. This is the magic carpet ride. I've said it before. No season will ever feel like this, because they will never exceed expectations ever again like this. And the difference is, as Matt Berry pointed out, while Matt Berry was speaking with us, there was highlights of Jaden Daniels playing for the Commanders. And it tied in perfectly to what he was saying. There have been moments under Todd Graham. There was moments under Herm Edwards where you thought, oh my, they're getting it done. They're pulling it off, and everything always came crashing down to earth. And with Kenny Dillingham, there's this distinct feeling that no, this is gonna stay in flight. This plane ain't crashing.
It doesn't. No, it feels. It's weird to say because it's happening right now. There's recency bias, and we have the history. But that's been my biggest gripe or frustration with ASU football is climbing to the top of the mountain or close to it and getting knocked off pretty quick. I mean, the 96 team or the 86 team that won the Rose Bowl when Jeff Van Raphorst was the quarterback, yeah, they were affected by a coaching change. I get it. But they weren't able to stay close to the top. You know, when they get there in 96, that was a team that was 2 minutes away from winning a national championship. Their next year, they lost a lot of talent. They were decent. They won a bowl game, but it was done at that point. Dennis Erickson's first year, they win 10 games. Can't stay close to that. Same with Todd Graham. His first 3 years were excellent, and the last 3, not so good. Kenny Dillingham instills Sun Devil fans with a different feeling because of what this means to him. I can't even imagine that experience. I mean, he's 34 years old, so his childhood is still very fresh in his memory because it wasn't that long ago. And doing what he's been able to be a part of, and I know he deflects all the credit to the players, but you can't do that. He is the architect of all of this. What this has got to mean to him going into Saturday is off the chart. I don't know if anybody's ever experienced that before.
No, and like I said, the thing I love about Kenny is he really has a maturity and sees the big picture well beyond his years, and he's very, very careful to share the glory with those around him. He is very, very careful to not make it all about himself. That's been one of his recurring themes, and I appreciate that. I think his messaging has been fantastic. His team is clearly responding to him, and he's had a few moments already this year where he's just kind of been the story in college football. There was the infamous, we're staging tryouts for a kicker.
Yeah,
so,
I kind of wish they would have found somebody, quite honestly.
Then
that's a concern.
Then
I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, no, I agree. Then there was the victory where the students were on the field and he just kind of jumped backwards and sort of disappeared in them as if he were one, as if he were literally transporting back in time to when he was that kid. And then there was the weirdness at the end of the BYU game, and here we are. It's been unbelievable.
And this part of the discussion, I have a question for you. Maybe we can circle back around to it.
All right.
I was just talking about not who cares if they're the 4 seed or the 12 seed. If you're in the party, you're in the party. But if they win on Saturday, they're the conference champions of the Big 12. It's a big what if. Would this be more satisfying for ASU fans if this happened in the Pac-12?
Wow.
I think the answer has got to be yes if you're being honest with yourself. But this is the reality that they're in, and they're making the most of it.
That's a fascinating question because I think you're right. You can say yes, the answer is yes. It can also kind of speak to this new day where life in the Big 12. I was one of the people who said, this is for a school that's always wanted to be Stanford. This is a very weird cultural fit for ASU, and I was the one that was saying this is perfect for Arizona. Everything about Arizona feels like the Big 12.
Yeah.
I couldn't have been more wrong. Everybody couldn't have been more wrong. Jared, you want to take a breath before you stuff the rest of that burrito in your face?
I don't even like it.
You don't even like it?
It's got mayonnaise on it. But
keep chewing on the air, please. That's awesome radio.
Well.
now do that. That's even better.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's very delicious. It just doesn't have. It has like a spicy mayonnaise on it. That's not my favorite cup of tea. But I did eat 2 entire burritos. So.
and that's only when you moderately like it.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.